Hi, this is Lulu and welcome to our video book review for September. Freya Barker was first introduced to me by Christine as she had read another series by Freya and immediately messaged me and said, Lulu, this author would be right up your alley. This was actually back in April, and May was when I read my first book by Freya, and that was A Change in Tide, which is book one of the Northern Lights series. Now, this was a 5-heart read for me, and upon finishing, I went and stalked the author and I purchased book one of the Portland ME series because Christine had already said I couldn't touch a couple of other series because she'd already nabbed them. So we do share here on Romance Between the Sheets. So then I went and stalked her, bought book one, and halfway through the book, I literally stopped, went into Amazon and bought the other 3 books of the series. Sight unseen, didn't even read the blurbs, just went, no, I'm just going to love this lady. So yes, I'm being totally honest here. I'm a big fan because I love her stories. She tells stories about women that all bear various scars of life, and they have incredible stories to reveal. You know, there's strong men in these love stories who provide passionate romantic scenes, but they also support the women to grow and flourish. You know, as women, we are sometimes our own worst enemies. We judge ourselves and, you know, and we do believe, you know, when you're in your 30s and 40s that life is as good as it gets. Well, Freya shows us in her stories that it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I've laughed, I've cried, and, you know, her books, particularly the Portland ME series, it's, you know, I'll read them again and again through the years. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
So this month we've selected book 2 of the Northern Lights series, which is A Change of View. This is a standalone in the series, and as I said before, I have read book 1, which is A Change of Tide, and I love that. So I rate A Change of View 5 hearts, as I simply love the way Freya tells her stories. As Freya says, it's amazing how beautiful things are when you occasionally risk a change of view. So this story is about a woman who is 46 and she moves to the wilderness to run her uncle's motel after he passes. And this is her story of rebuilding her self-worth from her divorce and also finding love and friendship in her new life away from old memories. The 2 main characters are Lilo and Raw. Raw owns a pub, fishing cabin set up down the road.
Yeah.
So Lilo had my heart from the very first few chapters as she forged ahead to make a change in her life. As I said, she was 46, divorced, lonely, and she needed to repair her inner self-belief. As all women know, we are our greatest critics, both physically and mentally. Raw was strong, he was masculine, but he was also sensitive, and I loved watching him make Lilo sensual again. His group of friends and family provided light-hearted moments in this story, and his mother, Charlie, was just a standout character for me. She was just wonderful, really feisty, and, you know, yeah, she was great. My favourite component of this whole story was watching how Lilo's relationship with her 2 adult children evolved because they were very cynical and believed her husband.
Yeah.
Her son Matt visiting was great. The relationship with her daughter towards the end really brought tears to my eyes because that was the relationship that really needed to be repaired.
Yeah.
I was surprised with the suspense and mystery towards the end of the story.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I had no clue as to who was, you know, and so that was a great twist. The epilogue I loved, and when the jar was opened, well, my heart swelled and there were tears in my eyes. And my favourite quote is, she's my fantasy, my fortune, my fate and my future. So well done, Freya. I loved it. And as I said, I rate it 5 hearts. So on to you, Vicky.
So yeah, I liked it. I'm a bit unprepared for today, so I'm sorry. I'll probably just mumble along through everything. But I liked that they were characters in their mid-40s. You don't see that very often at all. So that was actually a really good change of pace. You know, I liked Raw. He's gruff. He's a bit hard to get a grasp on, I suppose, at the beginning. But, you know, it hides his gooey centre because he really is. He's kind, he's generous, he's thoughtful, gives, he does whatever he can to help anyone in the community. He's really good. Lilu, I liked. I'm usually not an emotional person. The past week and a half with standing, but I'm usually not emotional. So I did struggle a little bit with how often Lilo would emotionally break down. I get it. I get the reason why, and everything. But yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, she's crying again. But that's just me, because I'm usually not a big crier. So with that, I couldn't get. But yeah, I did love that she was able to, like you said, reconnect with her two kids. Matt was good. Maybe there'll be a story about Matt one day. I don't know. So, but yeah, the daughter was a little bit. She was distant. So I didn't like her. I didn't dislike her. I just kind of felt like I didn't know her. Whereas Matt was, he was a sweetie. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think if there is anything else. I can't think of anything at this stage, so I guess if you guys say something and I agree with, I'll just go, yeah.
Well, I actually love the book. I gave it 5 hearts. I think one of the things that struck me the most was it was very authentic feeling for me, because I am an emotional person, and I could really connect with Lilo on a lot of different levels. I love the fact that she took responsibility for her relationship with her kids, because because she made mistakes, after, in the middle of her divorce, after her divorce, and that affected her relationship. And I thought that was very well portrayed in the book. I have to say my favorite quote because I'm dying to. And I don't want to give any, there's a few things that led up to this quote, which I don't want to give away in the book because it has to do with the suspense. But her son is just, blurts out like she's menopausal, and she thinks to herself, I hear my son call out and I make a note to murder him in his sleep. And that to me was perfect. That described the person that she became. She's stubborn. She's not going to, give up on life anymore.
Over again, because her husband he demeaned her. She had no self-worth at the end of her marriage, and and even like her body shape issues that Freya's wrote about. Like,
well, that was from her mother.
Her mother.
I like that. I like that the first time Matt visited, he was able to really, because like you said, she didn't have the great relationship with her kids because of the divorce. But I liked how, he visits for the first time and he sees the new and improved mum, and he loves it. He's like, he was just really happy that she had changed, that she had grown, that she liked herself, that she stood up for herself. And I really liked that he could see that, and quickly, he was quick to what's the word I'm looking for? He was quick to mend their bridge, I suppose, as opposed to, she's great now, but she was really bad for a year ago, and I can't forgive her for that yet. There was none of that. It was just, she's a new person. This is who I want my mum to be. I love it. I'm coming back, I really like that. I like that he was mature enough to see that she was better and that she deserved better from him as well, because let's face it, he wasn't exactly that great either.
No, that's right.
That's not really right. He was great. He was good. Matt was good, but, when she needed him, I think they kind of let her down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I like that the daughter was written differently, so you could definitely tell that there's 2 different personalities there.
She wasn't so quick to forgive. She was. I think it was that pivotal scene where, what was it? Her ex-husband's birthday. I think that really opened up the kids' eyes, because for the first time it wasn't on their mum, it was on them, and I think that was their wake-up call that. I've got this once and I hate it, and our mum dealt with it her whole life.
Our whole life. Yeah.
So
I love when Raw stood up for and had a conversation with the daughter at the end, you know.
yeah,
I really loved how she watched her mother and Raw and how things started to click into place that, wow, maybe my dad hasn't been telling me everything and that mum is a good person. And that's when I kind of went, oh, because you know, Lilo wanted a relationship with her daughter, but her daughter, sometimes mothers and daughters' relationships, I think, are more fractured than with their sons.
Yes.
And daughters are more judgmental of their mother and the relationship they have.
Yeah.
So Freya really portrayed the difference in relationships with children really well. Yeah.
I like the scene where Raw defended Matt and Lilo. What was the ex-husband's name? David?
Oh, he was a tool. I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah. Tool Boy. We'll just call him Tool Boy. But but yeah, you know, like he defended them by not defending them. You know that scene where it's like, no, he's man enough. He can fight his own battles, and you know, I think that really helped Matt. You know, like, I am a man. You know, and so I love that scene. That was my favorite defending scene for sure.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, just when he sat back and just let them do their own battle, and then the little snitty comments he said in return were just brilliant. You know, I'm like, go.
And what else have you got, Christine?
Trying to think. Oh, well, I love the town. You know, it made me want to go up into the mountains and find me a nice man. But I thought the town added an extra character. Plus, I did really like the mystery at the end. I wasn't expecting it.
No, I wasn't.
I wasn't. I had this idea of who it was creating the conflict, but it turned out to be much bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
And which was a really nice treat. Because I thought, well, did it have to go that way? And I guess it didn't. But it really made it more plausible, you know. So I thought that was really good.
It probably was a way of bringing the daughter back in, because after all that drama, the daughter comes and visits, you know, because, you know, without giving away anything. Look, I think that kind of helped tie the kids back in again, and there was some reconciliation to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the big storm, and that brought the whole town together. And seeing all the different personalities within the town was a really fun
that women's scene, you know, with the 3 old ladies and the daughters, and that was hilarious. That was just, you know, they hate each other, but they love each other, you know, and they're just, that was really good. I like that.
And that carried through the rest of the book too, and that was good.
Yeah.
But,
all right. Well, is that all we've got to say? I think.
We're at 13 and a half minutes, so we can't really say much more.
Well, so again, thanks, Freya, for writing another great story. Now we'll be having a giveaway courtesy of Freya, and that's the book 1 of the series. So stay tuned on our Facebook page, because we'll be posting that in the next couple of days. And over and out. That's the end.
Until then, we'll see you next time. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.